Okay, wonderful. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is a Zoom meeting, and we would like to see all of your faces. So some quick tips for the call. First of all, please make sure that your camera is turned on so we can see you. Second, so that we'll know who is with us, please update your Zoom username to be your first name, your last name, and class year. And for those of you like me who don't know how to do that, the instructions will be posted in the chat. And finally, to cut down on background noise, please mute your microphone. And I'll leave these instructions on the screen for a few moments, give everyone a chance to join us on the call. Okay, great. So it looks like most of us are here, so welcome. My name is Joe DeMederis, and I'll be facilitating tonight's Munday Scholars Welcome Program. I'm the Vice President for University Advancement, which means that for the past 17 years, I've had the pleasure of working with alumni, families, students, and donors to support your success here at St. Edward's through philanthropic gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Together, we'll discuss some of the activity that you will be asked to conduct to maintain your Munday Scholarship throughout your time on the Hilltop journey, and how you can stay connected beyond graduation. You'll also get success tips from the Office of Student Financial Services, Student Success, the Writing Center, Career and Professional Development, and the Health and Counseling Center. But before we get much further into our program, I'd like to welcome a Munday Scholar alumna to deliver the invocation. Dalia Gutierrez graduated in 2014 with the help of a scholarship from Mr. and Mrs. Munday. She participated in campus ministry's service break experience all 4 years and was involved in service activities through the Office of Community Engagement. After graduating, she joined Teach for America and earned her master's in theology and ministry from Boston College. Now, Dalia is serving as a college counselor at IDEA Public Schools in San Antonio. Dalia, thank you for joining us, and take it away.
All right, thank you. I'm glad to be here. So I'd like to take a moment to start us with the invocation. So please take a second to kind of center yourselves, quiet your brains, and listen to these few words. So as we gather today, let us take a moment to pause and reflect on the path that has led us here. It is without a doubt that the last couple of months have been unlike any we have experienced before. During these times, our lives have changed in many ways. It's as if we were forced to pause and step back from what we knew as normal and adjust to newness. Now, as we continue to transition into our new normal, let us think about the possibilities that come with what is new. Perhaps in this new state, we have learned to be compassionate towards the most vulnerable. Perhaps we have gained a new outlook on life. Maybe we have had the opportunity to center ourselves or take on a new hobby. Maybe we were blessed with spending more time with our families, and maybe we had the opportunity to experience the beauty and blessing that is community. Now amid the new, you find yourself almost halfway through your fall semester of college. In this new setting, in a new way of learning, in a new way of being. Let us use our ever-widening perspectives and deepening resiliency to continue to persevere and support one another through these times.
Thank you, Dalia. That was beautiful, very meaningful. Now that Dalia has set the tone for us, I'd like to introduce Dr. George Martin, who has created extraordinary student opportunities during his 22-year tenure as president of St. Edward's University. Dr. Martin is a humble person, but I'd like to share some of the ways he's led us all to fulfill the university's mission of serving all students. Today, our student body is as diverse as it has ever been, and recently he formed a task force to confront systemic racism in addition to leading several other university initiatives that address diversity, equity, and inclusion on our campus. His ongoing focus on our Holy Cross mission has helped students from all walks of life and financial circumstances access our transformative education. Among Texas universities, St. Edward's leads the way in educating students who have high financial need. About 4 out of every 10 Hilltoppers is recognized as having the highest financial need in the country as Pell eligible students. And scholarships like the Munday Scholarship help them earn their college degrees. Fundraising for these scholarships has been an important part of his leadership. Of course, the most important measure of student success is graduation. And under Dr. Martin's leadership, we've had a 6-year graduation rate as high as 70%. Since his first year as president in 1999, he's guided students, faculty, staff, and alumni to many other achievements, some of which are listed on the slide that you see now. I'm honored and ask that you please join me in extending a warm welcome to our president, Dr. George Martin. Dr. Martin?
Okay, thank you, Joe, and welcome everybody. I wish that we all could be together in person. It's always so much fun when we are, but I did want to do two things. One is I wanted to congratulate those who are new Munday Scholars, and I want to welcome back those who are continuing Munday Scholars. You might wonder who were Bill and Pat Munday. Well, Pat is still with us. Bill passed away a couple of years ago, but they were very simple people, really, from a simple background. Bill was an extremely successful businessman, and the two of them have a love of books and learning, and they have a real commitment to social justice. What they wanted to make sure of is that students would not be denied an opportunity to go to St. Edward's University because they couldn't afford the tuition. And so they created this very, very large endowment, which has supported hundreds of students at St. Edward's. I think we're beginning to close now about 1,000 Munday Scholars. And they don't really want anything in return. They're humble people in that way. They want only two things. One is, of course, that you succeed in your college career by applying yourself. And then when you do, and you move on to success later on, that you do what they did, that you remember that universities like St. Edward's, in order to make available to all students, no matter what their income background, an opportunity to study, that you too contribute whatever it is that you can. You won't be able to do what Bill and Pat Munday did, of course. Well, maybe you will, and if you can, you should do that too. But to make your own commitment to make sure that you support education for future students. The second thing was more Bill than Pat, but Bill was a businessman, and he wanted to make sure that anybody that he gave money to also knew how to manage money. And so an important part of tonight's program and your time as a Munday Scholar is that you become financially literate, not only for your own good, but really for the good of anybody really associated with you. So that will be part of the requirement, but really part of the gift of the Mundays to our students. So I hope that you have a very successful year so far. I hope that the year continues to be successful, if not somewhat strange. And I hope before you graduate that we can return to a campus environment with all of the additional opportunities to meet people, share stories with people, make friends with people. I walk around campus about 2 or 3 times a week, and I do see that the students who are living on campus are quite comfortable now in making friends. It took them a little bit more time than usual. And our students who live in Austin and commute to St. Edward's, even though they live in their families in other parts of the country, they too are beginning to take advantage of campus life. Don't forget to avail yourself of the rack. That I understand is full. There's the library and all the opportunities there. And if you do that and you enjoy your college experience and you succeed in your college experience, that's the greatest gift that you can give back to Bill and Pat Munday. So I'm just glad you're all here. I do hope to see you one day in person. And I wish you much success in the year ahead and in your college career ahead. Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. You know, since the first Munday Scholars welcome about 7 years ago, and the very first scholarship gift from Mr. and Mrs. Munday in 2003, your involvement and the care for these students has really been inspiring. We prepared a short video to highlight the great number of students who have benefited from this scholarship and the investment that Bill and Pat Munday have made in so many lives. So now, Sarah, if you could, please cue the video. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Dr. Martin, for joining us tonight. That video was produced by a St. Edward's alum, Tomas. Tomas is a camp graduate, and he was very privileged for producing that video and did a really nice job of that. That he compiled literally hundreds of photos of prior Munday Scholars to produce that beautiful photo of Bill and Pat Munday with Dr. George Martin, and that photo was taken around the time when they made the generous, one of their generous contributions to establish the scholarship. Dr. Martin, thank you again for joining us this evening, and now I'd like to sort of continue on with our program. So we're roughly about halfway through the event tonight, and we're going to welcome some campus partners who can talk us through not only how to ensure you maintain your Munday Scholarship throughout graduation, but also how to achieve your fullest potential. First, we'll hear from Jennifer Beck from the Student Financial Services, and then Raul Martinez will join us from Student Success. Jeffrey Downs from the Writing Center, which provides tremendous services for students with assignments for graduate school applications, scholarship applications, and much more. Next, we'll have Jason De La Rosa from the Career and Professional Development Office join us. As you know, Career and Professional Development helps students find internships and gain work experience. They also provide services to all alumni for life. So for any of you juniors and seniors on the call, you can learn a lot about how we're here to support you in your career journey beyond graduation. And then finally, Vanessa Pena from the Health and Counseling Center will provide us all with information about how to access health and mental health services, healthcare services. Student well-being is certainly a priority for all of us on the Hilltop. So I look forward to hearing from her. So first up is Jennifer Beck. Jennifer, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Beck, and I just wanted to say congratulations again on being a Munday Scholar. We're very excited to have you here this evening, and if you can just skip to the next slide, I'll go ahead and get started. So the scholarship renewal process. This scholarship is going to be renewed annually each year for up to 4 years. And you're probably asking yourself, okay, well, what are the renewal requirements in order to maintain the scholarship? So next slide. So some of the scholarship renewal requirements is, one, you have to maintain satisfactory academic progress. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Second, we want to make sure that you're aware that we would love for you to be able to provide thank you notes and some personal anecdotes about yourself so that the Mondays can really understand you as a person and what you're contributing here on campus at St. Ed's. Attend special events such as this evening. We will have future events that we may ask you to participate in, so please be sure to check your St. Edward's email address so that that's the official means in which we communicate about the events that we plan. And complete the financial education, the literacy sessions. These are going to be online modules for you to complete, and we're going to talk a little bit about a future slide about how you're going to get notified and what the deadline dates are for these sessions. And then number 5, we want to make sure that you renew the free application for federal student aid. That did become available for 2021-22 as of October 1st. So it's ready for you to go online and renew that application. If you can skip to the next slide. So satisfactory academic progress. At the end of each academic year, so at the end of the spring term, we're going to ensure that you maintain a cumulative GPA of at least a 2.0 and that you successfully complete at least 75% of the courses in which you attempt. So that means if you attempt 12 credit hours, we're going to ensure that you successfully completed at least 9 of those. So you might say, well, what if I don't do that well in the fall term? We will send you a notification saying, hey, we want to make sure that you reach out to your student success coach, your academic advisor, and really have an understanding of the tools that you need in order to be successful, so that at the end of the spring, when we review your progress, you meet the renewal requirements. You can go to the next slide. So attend special events. Tonight's event was through Zoom, and it's the welcome event. The spring event will be determined, but we will send, again, all that communication to you via your St. Edward's email account, letting you know what the requirements are and what we'd like for you to participate in. So financial education, you have to complete at least one financial education course each semester. Typically, it's on a series of different sessions, one being personal money management. So depending which class you're in, which cohort, you'll be assigned 2 online courses. Typically, they take about 30 to 35 minutes to complete. The deadline for the fall for you to complete is December 1st, and the deadline for the spring would be April 1st. And detailed instructions will be emailed to you on by November 15th. So you're going to get that notification, and if for some reason you haven't done it by the deadline, we will send you a reminder. So you access that online requirement through LinkedIn Learning using your My Hilltop account. So it's all through the portal. You're going to use your SEU email address, and the course will be assigned to you. And then once you complete that, Student Financial Services is notified that you've met that online requirement. You can find all the personal finance information through the Munday Scholars. We do ask that you wait until you get that email, because if you go directly onto our website, we do have all of our modules available for all students through our Financial Education Resource Center. However, we want to make sure that you're completing the correct module. So please wait for that email and you get notified that that module is ready for you to take place. And then stay in touch. Again, all communications about the scholarship, your renewal status, events will come through the email address mondays@stedwards.edu. So make sure that if you have stuff that's sent to a spam or a junk folder, that's one that you definitely want to make sure that you're getting in your inbox. And please make sure you read the email very carefully, because it may direct you to say personal information about yourself as well. Questions, you can always email us at mondays@stedwards.edu or call Student Financial Services, and there's our phone number. You can also reach us virtually through our website, where we can set up any sort of Zoom appointment with you, or our virtual front desk is also available. Next slide. This is just another reminder. It's time to renew the free application for federal student aid. So if you want to have a financial aid package before you leave for the spring, we ask that you complete that application early. So if you have any problems as you're going through it, you can always reach out to your student financial services advisor. Can you do the next slide for me?
Yes.
Thanks. And you can find this information about your financial service advisor through the billing and financial aid section of the St. Edward's website. We do an alphabetical distribution by your last name. And again, you can go onto our site and you can also set up an appointment directly with your counselor if you have any questions regarding both the Munday Scholarship or any part of your financial aid package. We want to meet you where you're at. So whether that's through our virtual front desk or setting up an appointment or through just our phone system, please give us a call. And now I'm going to introduce Roel Martinez from Student Success.
Good evening, everybody. Hope going well. I wish we could be here in person so that I could say hi, see a show of hands, and just see everybody at once. But it's such a privilege to be here and to be able to work with you all as a success coach. So as we advance to this first slide here, I want to introduce the concept of a success coach. And you may have some familiarity, but a success coach helps students, helps y'all adjust to college, helps guide y'all, and assist you with a plan for your academic experience on the Hilltop. So that's for freshmen, that's for transfers, sophomores, juniors, seniors. Everybody gets a success coach. And if you have grown to know and love DegreeWorks, you'll see who your success coach is at the top. You'll see a few people in that area, again, of DegreeWorks that support you. And Jason will kind of underscore career and professional development in a second, but that is also where you could find your career coach, who's also part of your team. Essentially, what success coaches do is we're a guide of sorts, right? And if you can kind of think of yourself as the driver, we're the co-pilot. You always have the steering wheel, but we're there to kind of advise and give you an idea of where you might turn, where you might go. But what's vital is that we know what your goal is. What is your end goal? Where do you want to go? St. Edward's University is, we thrive and we love to see students finish and become difference makers, right? We bring in difference makers and you'll grow and develop and move forward, and we're alongside you the entire way. And it's exciting to be with you on that journey. But part of that is identifying, where do you want to go next? What do you want to do? Do you have a good idea, right? Maybe you don't, and that's okay, right? We can ask some of those questions and see, have you chatted with your faculty? Have you chatted with Jason and his team? Have you done an internship? And we can start guiding that conversation and give you feedback. So we're alongside you the entire way, but we also are there to provide tools. We're your biggest fan. Everybody on the screen is actually your biggest fan, but we like to say we're your biggest fan. We're encouraging you, we're supporting you, we're challenging you in all the right ways. And it could be anything from, how are you managing your classes, your assignments? Have you been able to turn in the things that you needed to this week? No? Yes? That's great. And so that kind of brings us to this notion of academic success, right? What major are you pursuing? How can we plan out that degree? How long are you studying for your exams? We enjoy the opportunity to kind of assist you and tweak some of those skill sets, right? Managing time, talking with professors. Maybe you have not met your faculty advisor. Maybe you're a junior and you've yet to meet Dr. Neal. She is amazing. If you have not met Dr. Neal and you're a sociology major, go in and chat with her. Wealth of knowledge, right? And how can we get you connected to resources? So again, as you're seeing here, you are driving the machine at this point, but we are your co-pilot and we're walking alongside you throughout the entire journey. Let's go ahead and advance to the next slide here. So what are some ways specifically that we work together, right? We like to identify, what are your values and what are the things that motivate you? Is it social justice? Is it a specific field? How is it, what are the things that move you, right? And as a student, we like to work on the notion of balance and being present academically. So how can you balance being a theater student or being an athlete with maybe that internship or maybe that experience here in the city where you're trying to have a well-rounded undergraduate career? We like to be a sounding board for those things, but also new skills. Perhaps you're a writing major. I would probably challenge you to, learn a programming language, to be honest, if you don't already. I tell everybody, learn a programming language. Do you know Python? If not, great, let's figure that out. If you feel as though you need some work on your writing, let's take some more writing classes. So the idea is to put you in a position where you've experienced areas that you're comfortable with and perhaps less comfortable with, but you've developed new skills. And in that journey, you're setting goals and perhaps even new goals. Perhaps the goal that you came in with as a first-year student is something that's developing. At the end of the day, what that does is it creates a tremendous amount of momentum. And that's what's exciting, right? We see students move through very quickly, it seems overnight, through their 4 years because of that momentum. But what's vital is that you identify your resources, and we can help you with that. And one of those that's huge is the Writing Center. So as I pass this off to Mr. Jeffrey Downs, he's going to speak about this very, very vital resource.
Thank you so much, and I want to say that I am excited to be here tonight and to speak to everybody, all the Munday Scholars. Some of you may already know about the Writing Center, some of you may not. The Writing Center is available to you all the time in many ways, and I'm going to go through those very quickly. I don't have time to show you every little thing like I normally do, but one of the first things that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention is that we are now accessible through the Student Success page, which also gives you a link to the academic support page. There are 2 arrows there you can see on the screen that show where to get to the Writing Center, or you could always just Google St. Edward's Writing Center and it will take you directly to our main page, which would be the next slide. Wonderful. All right, you can still make a live appointment. We're just not doing them in the Writing Center on campus. It's a Zoom appointment. All of our tutors are teachers of writing. They're adjunct professors who teach writing and rhetoric, writing related courses, freshman seminar, as well as one really outstanding student tutor who is a writing and rhetoric major. You get a half-an-hour session. You can make up to 4 a week. The arrow pointing down, the first one there is where you sign up for an appointment. Tutor Track is a very easy system. There are directions. There's a video to show you how to do it if you want. There's written instructions. It's very intuitive and it's very easy to make. And all you have to do is make the appointment. We will initiate the Zoom or the Google Hangout with you. Another very popular way to leverage the Writing Center is the asynchronous feedback. You can submit a draft. There's a link for that. There's another arrow there online, and you will get feedback on the document. It takes 24 to 72 hours. It's popular with a lot of our distance learners, and a lot of classes require it. It's just another way to leverage the Writing Center and to get some good solid feedback on your writing. What kind of writing can you use at the Writing Center? Could we back up a little bit?
Sorry.
It's okay. Any time during the process, from the minute you get a writing assignment to before you hit submit or turn it in on Canvas, is the right time to come to the Writing Center. We can help you navigate just a writing prompt before you've written a word, the assignment directions. We can help you brainstorm. We can give you ideas on how to form an action plan for a large writing project. There are a lot of time management and strategic skills that you can learn from us in the Writing Center that you can apply to all your projects. You can make an appointment with me and several of your other friends. If you want to start a writing group, we can get you started. Circled in red, I'm used to having a pointer, sorry, is the Writing Center email. I'm also going to give you my email address in just a second. Both of them come directly to me, and I try to answer them immediately, definitely within 24 hours, but sometimes you just have a quick question. The Writing Center is available to students, undergrads, graduate students, doctoral students, staff, faculty, anyone connected, even alumni. We still get things sent in from alumni students. Next slide, please. I don't want to overstep my time. One of the things that is available to you all the time, there's a link back on the other page I'd like to show you, is the Google site that is accessible when you click on the Resources tab. It's where you submit online. There is a page of resources that is probably over 100 links to curated resources that we look through constantly during the year. I'm going to show you a picture of that in a minute. We have resources for faculty to help them write better writing assignments for you. We have handouts that are PDFs on specific issues. We have videos about the Writing Center and some specific welcomes and things like that, as well as some contact information. We go to the next slide. Next slide, please. There we go. This is just a part of the resources page. Every one of those things on the page, there is a link. We have them separated by category. There's everything from how to use a comma to how to put something in the current edition of APA, how to write a lit review, there are links to the career services if you're doing a cover letter. A lot of people have them look at it as well as us because we look at things differently. Any piece of writing, we can also work on any kind of rhetorical project. We've helped people with business plans, with visual projects. All you have to do is, excuse me, all you have to do is ask, right? No one writes alone. Even though the tutors are teachers, we are there to collaborate with you, writer to writer, not to instruct. It's a very different experience. Most people, 99% of people probably, that come to the Writing Center will come back. We're happy to work with you on anything. Again, down there on the bottom are the 2 email addresses. They both come directly to me, and I will get back with you as soon as possible. I wish I had more time tonight to show you all the bells and whistles that we have, but please feel free to go in there and explore on your own, because these are by no means exhaustive, but they are very, very good resources that we have prepared for you. All you have to do is remember Writing Center, St. Edwards. Any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much. It's so good to see everybody tonight.
Jeffrey, thank you. I just want to, Jason, before you get, I just want to let folks know that we are going to have some time at the end for some Q&A. So Alexis, I know you had a question, so we're going to be able to respond to those and get to it at the end of the sessions. Thanks, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you. So my name is Jason Del Rosa. I'm the Director of Career and Professional Development here on the Hilltop. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit first about who our staff consists of. So I'm in the director role, and we have a programming events coordinator, Jennifer Anseard. So we are bringing a multitude of virtual events to you this fall and spring. But you know, when we're not in a pandemic, there will be a lot of on-campus events, of course, right? And so each student on campus has a designated career coach here to help and support you. So as Roel mentioned earlier, career and professional development and the academic success coaches are working as a team to help support you along with faculty and everybody else on campus. So if you are in School of Arts and Humanities, or if you were part of the School of Human Development and Education, we've kind of divvied up, and so you will have already received an email from your specific career coach. Behavioral and Social Sciences is represented with Ashley Walton, Bill Munday School of Business with Julie Zenfinig, and Natural Sciences with Kira O'Donnell. One thing I want to note before we move on to service provided is that the entire university is partaking in your career development. It's not just about jobs, it's not just about internships. Sure, those are things that we want to acquire and help you acquire, but talk to your faculty members, talk to your success coaches, talk to everybody about what your goals and your dreams are so they can get you connected to the right resources. And of course, the Career and Professional Development Office is there to have a very deliberate conversation about that. So as we move on to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the services provided, right? So right now, I just want to let you know that we are having some on-campus hours. So those of you that are on campus and you want to come and meet with somebody, pop by the Moody Hall. We are there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be somebody from Career and Professional Development, from Academic Success Coaching, from Student Disability Services, the College Assistant Migrant Program, and International Student Services. We will get you connected to the right place. But there is somebody from Career and Professional Development Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. If you are a new first-year student, you probably have received a few emails from us to do your Clifton Strengths Assessment. The better we know you and what you're shooting for and what your strengths are, the better we can help tailor our approach when we're helping send job recommendations, part-time, full-time, internship opportunities. We, of course, also have virtual drop-ins every single day of the week. You can schedule appointments with us via Handshake. Those of you who aren't familiar with Handshake, this thing is a fantastic piece of software. It is where you're going to eventually find your part-time jobs, full-time jobs, internship opportunities. When you are an alum, you have access to Handshake, and you would be blown away by the amount of full-time job opportunities that are in there for our alumni. We've seen a lot of former students who are now alums applying for jobs through Handshake because they didn't know they were in there. Of course, there's a lot of great opportunities for part-time, part-time and internships as well. We have a lot of internal, external information sessions. You can find our events listed on career.stedwards.edu. And of course, there are two pretty important fairs coming up, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. If we go on a broader scale though, career and professional development isn't just for when you need something, right? Yeah, we're here to help you get that job. We're here to help you get that internship, but we want you to come in and meet with us early and often. We want to explore what it is that you want to do. What are your goals? We want to help connect you to informational interviews. I think we've had some wonderful alumni who have helped us in the past who say, hey, you know what? We want to help students who are there who can talk to us about what they're going through, and we can tell them a little bit about the job that we do on a day-to-day basis. We're here to help, not only help you create that resume, but put down the ideas. You're like, hey, that's a gap. That's something I should be doing. We'll help you get that experience to put something really impressive on that resume. When it comes time for you to apply for a graduate or professional school or a job, we're going to help you with that writing process. We're going to help you with your interview prep when the time comes. So we have two fairs that are coming in the next couple of weeks here. Our graduate professional school fair. We're having about 55 to 60 graduate and professional schools that have already registered for this event. It's going to be virtual via Handshake. It's taking place on October 13th. We would really encourage you to drop in. Those of you who are in your first year or second year, you might think, hey, that's not on my radar yet. I'm not ready to go have that conversation. The virtual setting is the best way to get your feet wet. Drop in, it's low risk. You can keep your video on and you can just sit back and listen. There's 30-minute group sessions where a graduate school will talk to you, and then you can do one-on-one sessions if you really want to dig in as an upper class student. We have our internship fair coming up on October 21st. We have about 15 to 20 pretty big name employers who are already registered, and a few of them are coming in. We just need to finish processing those. In preparation though, for that internship fair, we really recommend having a nice looking professional headshot. So we've gotten some special permission, and this is going to be news to, I think, some of the faculty and staff in the room as well, but on October 19th and 20th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. students, we're going to be doing some special special headshots in front of the red doors that you can put on your LinkedIn profile or for those applications that call for a professional photo. So we'll send some information in the next couple of days about how you can sign up for that. Next slide, please. Just so you know, we have a virtual drop-in schedule like I mentioned before. So there's a drop-in check-in form. If you go to career.stedwards.edu, you'll see something up at the very top that says drop-in check-ins. And then you can drop in at that time and one of the career coaches will take care of you. If you want to send your personal statement or a resume drop-off in advance of a meeting, or if you're just like, hey, I can't meet with anybody, somebody's already worked with me, I just want to drop this off and get it turned around in about 3 to 5 business days, most likely sooner, there is a personal statement resume drop-off service. But again, if you want to get a hold of us very quickly, you can contact your career coach directly. You can write SCUcareer@stedwards.edu. But there is a wealth of resources located on our brand new website, career.stedwards.edu. And there's a lot of information based on which major you belong to. I think that's all I've got tonight. So I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Vanessa Peña.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be here and grateful for these few minutes that I have with you. Next slide, please. So we at the HCC offer so many different services to you, but as I was trying to be thoughtful with the short amount of time that I get with you this evening, I really wanted to use this time to bring to your attention this idea of health prevention and how that contributes to your success as a student. So anecdotally, what we see at the Health and Counseling Center, especially during the month of October, is we see a lot of students that have essentially been struggling here and there. Perhaps they already came to St. Ned's with some mental health concerns or struggles, and they've kind of tried to ignore them for as long as they could. And in October, we tend to see this sort of large rush of students that really need our services. And so I say that because I want to first validate these concerns and say that everybody's concern is important. It might seem like a small thing to you at the time, but as you sort of ignore the concern, it might grow bigger, right? So I want everyone to be aware that everyone can really benefit from help, regardless of whether you come in presenting with a big or a small issue. And I really want to encourage you as students to get started with talking to someone about the concerns before things really get worse, okay? So in regards to health, I want to highlight, engaging with medical providers for your yearly physicals if you haven't gotten one yet. I know that COVID has been a scary time for us in so many different ways. And what I keep hearing from medical providers is that a lot of folks have put off doing things like getting their yearly physicals done, or people are concerned about getting their flu shots or sort of those routine checks because they're concerned about going to a clinic. I highly encourage you to go ahead and schedule those things, because what a provider can do is catch something early before it becomes a bigger issue. So try to engage in those appointments early, thinking about having a daily routine, some good sleep hygiene, of course, following the COVID guidelines that you've heard us talk about when we talk about the Live Well SEU initiative and these recommendations of wearing facial coverings and keeping our social distance, good hygiene, so many different little things you can do for yourself that really do contribute to your success as a student. In regard to mental health, I would encourage you to think about who is your support, whether that be on campus folks that you've connected with, like your success coach, or a faculty member back home if you've got parents, or maybe you are at home and they're around you. So thinking about who can really help you in these challenging times, because everybody needs a support team. As you think about the HCC staff, I wanted to give you sort of a picture that you can take a look at. On the bottom right-hand corner is Isabel, who provides our admin support. And if you come to the HCC, you would see her at the front desk. The other four are the counseling staff. So I have, there's 3 of us that are psychologists on staff. We're all licensed mental health providers. And then we have Veronica, who is our clinical case manager. So these would be the friendly faces that will provide you with mental health resources and services on campus. Next slide. Of course, I want to let you know how to get started with us. Again, there's so much information I could go into, but the takeaways for you are, for health services, we are referring students to Baylor Scott & White Health. The easiest way to get started with them is through their online portal. And on that link, you can make an appointment with a telemedicine provider. If you need additional support, or you actually need to go in person to the clinic, you can also make those appointments online for their downtown clinic, which is just a couple of miles from campus. For those of you that have transportation challenges, and if you are on campus, the HCC is providing courtesy rides using Lyft for those students that need it. So you can call the HCC during business hours to set that up. And then for counseling services, All you have to do to get started is call our main number during business hours. It's that simple. Students that find themselves in need of crisis support, you can walk in physically to the clinic during business hours to receive support. And after hours, you can reach, we have our counselor on call system. And you can reach us through calling UPD's dispatch phone number. And then finally, before we switch to my last slide here, we just started a social media account on Twitter. So it's okay, SUUHCC2 on Twitter. And we're trying to post the latest and greatest on there about all the things we're doing. Next slide. I told you it was a lot of information. So quickly, here is a snapshot of all of the different October workshops that the HCC has put together for you. All of these topics were put together based on what we're hearing students really struggling with. For those that are, living at home and having, difficulties with that, there's a workshop, there's a grief and loss one, a managing mental health in a tense political climate. So many different offerings. Let us know how we can help you. All this information is also on our Health and Counseling Center website if you forget any of it.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer and Roel and Jeffrey, Jason, and Vanessa for this very helpful information. And just so everyone knows, we're going to post some information actually we're going to email your the PowerPoint information with all the presenter information so you can access that information through your email. So we'll be doing that as a follow-up to this event. We now like to answer any questions that y'all might have. I know we did have a question from Alexis. Yeah, Alex, ask your question.
I actually now have two questions since the last presentation. My first question was for Ms. Beck. With the financial courses for the Munday Scholarship that are required, I was wanting to take notes on those, and I was wondering if each year is like a new set of courses, or if it's the same course that we take each year that we're applicable for the scholarship.
It's a great question. The first thing is the course is that it's assigned by the cohort, and it's different courses each year. So freshman year gets assigned one sort of course, whether it's budgeting 101 or understanding credit, or understanding how to maybe even do a resume and getting connected to career and professional development. We have a series of about 10 different courses that are available. And so we'll go ahead and provide that via email and complete that.
Alrighty, thank you. I was just trying to figure out what size notebook I would need to make sure that I have those very helpful notes.
Yeah, sure thing.
My second question is for Ms. Vanessa. Are there going to be any more flu shot drives this year? I've already tried looking into getting a flu shot at like the local Target, and they are not accepting my insurance, so I'd have to pay for it out of pocket, and that's not going to work too terribly well for me this year.
Sure thing. So yeah, we did have our on-campus drive-through walk-up flu clinic last Thursday. But what we are also encouraging students to do, so Baylor Scott and White is having another drive-through flu clinic on October 19th, I believe it is. The flyer is on the Health and Counseling Center website, or I'm happy to also send it to everyone, where they're going to be offering drive-through flu shots at 9 different locations across the city of Boston. Okay. So not on campus, but there's also those options, as well as, things like local HEB, CVS. But if you need help getting connected to a provider, you can call the HCC, and our case manager can help you find the right place to go.
All right, because I was about to ask if Baylor Scott and White is accepting TRICARE, because that's one of the hard ones to find someone who does accept TRICARE.
Gotcha. So off the top of my head, I can't guarantee that they do. They take a lot of the major insurance policies, but I recommend calling HCC to talk to Veronica Vargas, our case manager, so that she can find you the specific location that will make sure that they accept TRICARE.
Awesome. Thank you very much, you guys, all of you.
Sure.
Thanks, Alexis, for that question. So the floor is open for Denise. Did we have any other questions that came in through the chat?
Joe, we have one from Marcus and also one from Lucida.
Okay, Marcus, do you want to ask your question? Or do you want to?
I was just wondering, Vanessa, where did you get your counseling PhD? Because I'm looking for graduate schools right now that offer those kind of programs.
Yeah, so I got my PhD in counseling psychology at the University of Houston.
Cool.
So there's lots and lots of options, especially depending on what type of psychology you're interested. But happy to help if you want to shoot me an email.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I'll add a quick plug. Come and meet with your career coach to talk about grad school research. We're happy to help you.
I would ditto that, Jason. Definitely, Marcus. Definitely avail yourself of the resources. They can all help provide some information for you.
And Jeffrey Downs and the Writing Center can even help with grad school applications.
That's right.
Absolutely. We get a lot of those grad school internships, scholarships, PhD programs. We work with a lot of those all the time.
Wonderful. Denise, you said we had another question, correct?
Yeah, Lucita Rodriguez. She had a question.
Hi, I forgot who mentioned it. I was wondering who we can contact about the headshots.
Yes, so that'll be my office. You can email us at sucareer.stedwards.edu, or I'm sorry, sucareer@stedwards.edu. We sent out a save the date, I think yesterday, but it will be on October 19th and 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll send a sign-up sheet to just monitor traffic, but unless weather prevents us from doing it, that'll be happening there. We're also going to be we had a LinkedIn headshot station in the career office before. We're going to be moving it up into a classroom. So we'll be able to do that, I think, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays during the week. But I'll send some information out to all students. So just keep an eye out for that, or you can write me directly.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Great questions. Does anyone else have any questions?
Looks like Milan had another question.
Okay, Milan.
So I was wondering, how can we apply for the Munday Scholarship?
I'm sorry, could you ask that again? Sorry.
Oh, I said I was wondering, how can we apply for the scholarship?
Yeah, students are selected when they apply through the free application for federal student aid. So you would have to complete the FAFSA application. That's the renewal requirement.
Okay.
Milan,
Thank you.
Milan, if you're in this meeting, it means you have the Munday Scholarship for 2020, 2021.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Milan. And others? Do we have others who have questions? Great questions, by the way.
I have a quick question.
Shoot, Mariano, go ahead.
I remember last year that we would have to complete like the series of videos in one semester, and if you complete them all, you don't have to do it for the next semester. Does that still apply this year?
No, you do have to complete each term, the requirements. So we'll send you the notification, and as long as you complete the term, then we'll check off that you've completed it and the scholarship will be renewed, but it is done term-based.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks, Mariano.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Heidi.
Around what time are we gonna be receiving like, these emails? Like, I wanna try like a date that maybe it's like too further on if I haven't received any emails, like for me to be concerned, you know.
Yeah, November 15th. So our anticipation was in the next couple of weeks we'd be sending out the notification. So we will send that out before November the 15th.
Okay, and as far as FAFSA, like if I have already completed it, as long as I already like put St. Edward's as one of my schools, y'all should automatically get that? Or
Yeah, we should. Basically, if you've already done it, which is great, you're probably one of the few people that have actually did it right when it opened on October 1st. We start actually receiving that FAFSA data in early November, and we start putting together a financial aid package for 21-22 to students. Typically, we send that out in March. So around the first week of March is when our award notifications go out. But if you want to give us a call in December or go online through our portal and confirm that we've received it, we'd be glad to touch base with you to make sure that we have it. But yeah, as long as you put St. Edward's and our school code, typically the renewal application is much quicker because a lot of the demographic information is already completed on the application. So it's actually you just using the IRS data retrieval tool and pulling in additional data. But I'll put a plug in here. We're getting ready to send out a notification about a FAFSA Fest that we'll be hosting, and it'll be an all-day Zoom event. You can come in when it's convenient. If you have any questions about the FAFSA as you're completing it, we'll be available to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. I just got a note from Victoria Garcia, who indicated that Walgreens takes TRICARE insurance for flu shots. So you might want to check on that before heading over, just to confirm that is in fact the case. Victoria, thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
All right, I think we still have some time for additional questions if we have folks who have some questions. Great questions, by the way.
I was wondering if we were going to get Mrs. Munday's contact information to be able to write her a thank you note, or if we have to do a thank you note, facilitate that and send them and organize them and move them over to her, or do we do that on our own?
Great question, Valerie. Sarah, do you want to answer that?
Sure. So a little later this month, y'all will get an email from me, and it's just going to ask you some pretty basic questions that will help Mrs. Munday understand a little bit about who you are and what your ambitions are. If you want to write a thank you note to her beyond that, like a handwritten note, that's also an option. You would just need to send it to me. I can include my address when I do a follow-up email to y'all. And then the other option we have is we have a new subscription to a service called ThankView. And ThankView, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it's this great little service where you can just use the webcam on your laptop and record a short video. So we're also offering that as an option for people who maybe don't love to write, but would like to say thank you in a more personal way. So again, all of that information is going to come to y'all a little later this month. So you have three options. You can either fill out a questionnaire, giving her some basic information that we format. You could do a handwritten note, or you could do a thank you video.
Great, thanks, Sarah. And then we take information, you may not be able to see it, and then we create a book, I can't see it, that gives a little piece on each student, and we send it to Miss Munday, so she has a chance to kind of see who you are and then read up on you. And she absolutely loves receiving those these books, because you know, they don't have any children, and so I mean they really just want to follow your dreams, and it's really really touching for them to be able to know a little bit more about you. So when Sarah reaches out to you for that information, I strongly ask and encourage if you're able to provide us with some personal story about what it means. That's really helpful. So great question. Thank you for that question, Valeria. Okay, good. I think we have time, Denise. Sarah, we have time for some more questions.
It's 7:01, but I don't want to quiet anybody who does have a burning question.
Yeah, I'm happy to stay on for a little bit.
Do we give people about 10 more seconds?
Sure.
If you have questions after this, you can always email mondays@stedwards.edu, and we're happy to answer them at that time as well.
Great. Well, so Sarah, before I conclude this evening's meeting, I'd like to again thank everyone for taking the time to join us. And I sincerely hope that all of you learned a little something new information about how you can be successful as a student and then ultimately as an alum. And once you do graduate, the Alumni Association is a resource for you to continue your growth and connection to the Hilltop. So for any senior on this call, I would say for any senior, we're going to put up these slides here that share some basic information about how you can stay connected to the Hilltop and how you can continue to shape your educational mission. As soon as Sarah restarts the PowerPoint, she's going to show you. It's pretty basic. Pretty much we've got all the socials, so you can, in 3 easy steps, you can basically stay connected with us. So you see some photos there. One is make sure that we have your current contact information by emailing us at the email you see there, and then follow us on social media. You see all of our channels. And then lastly, choose your involvement. There's really lots of ways you can stay connected with the university. Certainly, we often have alums like Dahlia did a great job tonight coming back and sharing her story and her time with us. So there are really different ways that you can stay connected. I would also encourage you to visit with some of the folks in the alumni office, because we can visit with you virtually and get you connected through that connected network of alumni. Throughout the US, in all major cities, we have great networks of alumni, and I think alumni are just waiting and excited about connecting with current students. So I would encourage you to lean on that as well. I think that's about it. Sarah, anything else? Any other parting information for the students? Once again, thank you to our campus partners again, Jennifer, Roll, Jeffrey, Jason, and Vanessa. Really appreciate it. And Sarah and Denise and Sam on the back end, thank you for your logistical support. And for our students, I hope you all continue to have a great evening, a great semester. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe and stay well. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Take care.